Welcome to round 4 of the 2026 Spring Downhill Race Series amongst locals. So, on this one, I was able to attend this race and it was much better. We didn't have a ton of racers, but it was a pretty good race. Didn't end up going the best for me, though, so I'll go straight into the action.
Alright, the first rider dropping is Philip, so let's see what he does in this run. Pedaling hard past this first timer. Alright, drop it in. So this is the first split time, so we're not going to get all the splits, but we'll see a good baseline time. Alright, going in this funny technical section. Hard to hold speed through here, so let's see what we can do. Slows down a bit, but gets on the pedals here. Yep, going down in this funny little rock roll. We have to stay left. You don't want to go too far, and that becomes a cliff. Alright, and then up that little thing, down, and into the longer slab. This slab has no support and it's pretty critical for the other parts of the track. Alright, coming through here and down. Alright, let's see. Okay, doesn't hit the drop. Oh, takes a funny line to the outside. I don't know if that's going to pay off. Alright, going up towards this climbing section now. Alright, on the pedals, up into the climb. This climb is probably the most critical part of the entire track. Oh, he's going quick through here. This is good. You can definitely lose a lot. Oh, hops off the bike. Alright, yep, now just pushing. Making sure to run, though. This climb can definitely make or break your race. If it's too slow, you're going to lose more time than you will in most other sections. So, yeah, let's see. Going up towards the last little bit of it. Let's see where he gets back on his bike. Oh, yeah, I keep going. Alright, hopping back on the bike. Going into this short descent. Alright. Pedaling pretty hard here. I'm guessing he's pretty tired. This is a very tiring course compared to many other ones. Alright, down in this little descent. Oh, slowed down a bit there. Okay. These little corners have very little support. Alright, and then up some more. And a bit of pedaling. Yep, up those few little rocks. And then you've got a corner that's cambered the wrong way. Makes it super hard to hold the speed into this. Actually hits that quite well, though. Alright. Yeah. Alright, pushing up towards the final descent bit. I think he put his dropper up and was just trying to recover a bit. This track is very tiring and can definitely go badly if you don't make sure you save some energy for the end. Alright, going to the descent through the little ruts. Last little bit of pedaling. And then into the last stuff. Oh, sitting down here, interesting. Alright, standing up again. Into here. Takes the inside line. Oh, it gets a little sketchy, but takes it pretty good. Alright, going in, and he gets a 229.28. That was a pretty good run. Let's see how the other riders compare. Alright, second rider up is Jonas. If he does well here, he can definitely have a good shot at the overall. Alright, pedaling super fast here, trying to carry all that speed through this section. Let's see how he does in this weird technical rock. Alright, bounce off real quick through there. Wow, that was a really good one. Alright, over these rocks, into the funny slab, staying hard left. This is really quick. If you can hold this speed for the entire course, this is a really good run. Bunny hops into that. Okay, I haven't seen many riders do that. And he's 3.78 up at the first split. That is a huge margin for that first section. Alright, dropped it into here. Let's see if he does the drop. And decides to go around the drop, but it's still staying pretty quick through there. Alright, and then going back to the climb section. Let's see what he does on this. This is a super critical part. Alright, staying on the bike still. Pushing pretty hard, definitely going quick. Looks tiring though, so hopefully he can keep enough energy. And hops off the bike, running pretty dang quick up the hill though. Alright. Yep. Up to the last thing. Let's see where he gets back on the bike. If he wins this race, he gets close to the top. He definitely is close to the overall. He's not far behind in points. And yeah, the last race would definitely be a second factor. And he's 19 seconds up at the second split. That is insane. Huge margin at the top of that hill. Alright, he's got to keep that up, though, for the rest of the track. Let's see if he might even be able to gain on it. But absolutely flying here. He must be exhausted. He has to save some energy for this pedaling section, though, or it's going to slow him down a lot. Pushing up through here. He looks pretty tired. Let's see what he does. He's just got to get to the top of this little bit, and then he's got most of the descending left without much climbing. Alright, and into this section. Goes into here. Definitely off the brakes. And pedals hard through here. Wow, where is he finding all this energy? This is really impressive. This run is incredibly fast. thinking this run is set up to be something really quick. Let's see the time he gets, and a 1:59.90. That is a fast run. Alright, next rider up is me. I don't know, this race didn't go the best for me. What should I do? In this top section, I was going pretty dang quick through these first little bits, and on the pedals here. And this technical feature, real quick through there, I managed to keep a high line, actually just going over the rocks on the left. Alright, into this first little descendy bit, and then staying left, up over to this thing, up it, and minus 0.75 seconds, so I'm going pretty quick, but oh, off track. Oh, I need to make sure I get back on track quickly. This is definitely losing a lot of time for me. This is probably going to cost the race. Alright, back on the pedals. Let's see what I can do in this lower section. Alright, coming down the little rocks. Let's see if I take the drop. And I did take the drop. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's faster, but it's definitely pretty fun. Alright, going in the climb. This part's pretty critical. Pedaling kind of slowly. I don't know if this is going to keep any time for me. I'm probably just going to end up losing more time. Pretty smooth through there, though. Can't tell if this is faster than just running it, though. That was definitely something each of the riders was considering during their timed practice laps, was whether or not it was actually worth climbing or not on these sections. Alright, keep climbing. I'm at the top now, though. It seemed pretty quick, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I am 13.25 seconds back. Most of that's probably from that accidental off track. Alright, pretty quick through this little descent. Gotta carry the speed into this climb. And pushing pretty hard. Alright, definitely tired at this point. So, let's see if I can hold it together and gain some of that time back. Definitely wasn't the run I was looking for, but hopefully I can get back on the last race. Alright, last little bit of pedaling. As hard as I can. Up through here. You know, wiping stuff off my goggles. It was pretty muddy in some sections of this race. Alright, bunny hopping into this section. That was definitely quick. I don't know. A lot of the riders didn't decide to do that. That was definitely a quick line. And then into this slower section. Off the brakes completely here and make sure you get as much traction as possible. Inside line there. Now let's see what I can do. And a 2:15.23. I was 15 seconds back on the lead. And final rider is Griffin Yerkowicz. Let's see if he can get a good run. If he can, he's going to be really good contention for that overall. And absolutely flying through here. Remember, Jonas still has the fastest time on this track, but this upper split was beat by me. So let's see how he does. That looks really quick through there. Alright, bunny hops into there. Interesting. I didn't see anyone else do that. Kind of slow on this slab. Alright, going into this little up-down. Pulls up on that little left side and plus 0.12. Okay, so he's pretty close to Jonas's time. Let's see what he can do. Alright, whoa, weird line through here going through those two trees. I wonder if that was faster. It looks pretty quick. Alright, around the drop.
Excuse me?
And probably not going the quickest through here.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Someone in the way. Alright, and up the hill, pedaling. Let's see if he decides to get off the bike. Definitely looks quick up through here. Definitely is tiring, though. Wow, pedaling super hard here. This is a fast climb. He's definitely going to be trying to stay up with that Jonas's time, who was really quick up this hill. And stays on the bike all up to heel. It messes up. Okay. Pushing up to that last point and then getting back on the bike. Let's see. We got that second split coming just up. He definitely lost some time because that little mistake in the climb, but overall looks pretty quick. And he's 3.1 seconds back. There is a chance he could make back that time, but let's see what he can do. Alright, going through these corners with middle hole support. And up in the little climbing section. He's got the last section of pedaling here. He's going to have to hope that he saved enough energy for it. Definitely could bite him in the back if he doesn't. Alright, pedaling up through here. Yup, let's see what he does. And takes this funny outside line he didn't slip and grip. Not sure if that's faster. It definitely is different. Trying to stay out of those ruts. Alright, and dropping into this. Before turning left through those ruts. Looks pretty quick through there. Pedaling. Not much left. This time could get close to Jonas's. Remember, Jonas had a 1:59. And, alright, he's going to be back by a second or two. And he does a 2:02.88 and is only 3 seconds back. He definitely gained some time back now. That leaves the current standings with Jonas and Griffin tied at 8 points. Going in the final round with me right 1 point behind with 7, Quan with 3, Lucas with 1, and Ian with 0. This is going to be quite a tight final race. Points are going to be added one more, so winner will actually get 4 points for the final race.